Time I'd like to recognize Ms. Hopper for her 5 minutes to summarize her opening statement.
Chairman Guest, Ranking Member Thompson, and distinguished committee members, thank you for the opportunity to testify. My name is Allie Hopper, president and co-founder of Guard Against Trafficking, a nonprofit dedicated to combating human trafficking. As a Hispanic mother, I have held a 6-year-old Colombian child in my arms, cold, dirty, and shaking, left to die at the border by the cartel. I have seen children that have crossed the border alone, holding scraps of paper with sponsor information given to them by the cartels. When I testified in November, we discussed the exploitation of children at our border. Today, countless children continue to be neglected, abused, or trafficked by a system meant to protect them. We must ask, how was this allowed to happen, and what role did NGOs play? My research partner, Dr. Jared Sadolsky, and I have conducted extensive field work, including interviewing incarcerated traffickers, cartel members, whistleblowers, and unaccompanied alien children themselves. An ORR field specialist had visited a home to place a 17-year-old and reported serious concerns, most notably that the adult claiming to be the child's mother was adorned in MS-13 tattoos. Despite these concerns, ORR leadership overruled that specialist. Tragically, 3 months later, that child was found dead, his pants around his ankles, with an older man passed out next to him. This heartbreaking case is not isolated. It highlights a system overwhelmed by both scale and mismanagement. Since 2008, over $20 billion has been dispersed under the UAC program, almost $14 billion of that in the last 6 years alone, meaning over 2/3 of funding was spent in just 1/3 of the program's lifespan. Yet despite this massive investment, hundreds of thousands of children remain unaccounted for as the U.S. taxpayer dollars fueled a system hijacked by criminal networks. No-bid billion-dollar contracts were awarded with little oversight, while influx facilities became transportation hubs. A striking example is Endeavor's. Their IRS filings show revenue soaring from $65 million in 2019 to $1.18 billion in 2022, driven almost entirely by federal contracts. During this time, CEO John Allman's salary rose from $292,000 to $730,000, with 6-figure executive surge bonuses added. Endeavor's ended 2022 with a $112 million surplus. Andrew Lorenzen-Strait, a former Biden transition official and ICE advisor, helped secure no-bid federal contracts for Endeavor's and was caught on camera calling the border crisis a boom for business. Inside Endeavor's, leadership blocked critical safety protocols, resisted oversight, and silenced internal dissent. Our interviews with contracted auditors at Endeavor's Pico, Texas facility revealed disturbing findings. Male staff had been found inside female dorm rooms. An employee had led 150 teenage girls in sexually explicit routines, dance routines, teaching them how to twerk on multiple occasions. A female over 18 had been shielded from ICE. Others nearing 18 were released early to avoid transfer to ICE. And auditors were blocked from reviewing child sponsor placements. These abuses are not unique to Endeavor's. Similar patterns existed across multiple NGOs. Federal contracts had prioritized speed over safety and rewarded output over outcomes, conditions which cartels exploited. A cartel operative in Tecate, Mexico, explained to us how children were routinely kidnapped and funneled into the U.S. for profit. Cartels infiltrated NGOs along those smuggling routes, turning humanitarian pathways into trafficking pipelines. Weak sponsor vetting worsened this problem. An HHS audit later found that 70% of sponsor applications were fraudulent, making proper post-placement welfare checks nearly impossible. Recently, we discovered about 117 unaccompanied children believed to be trafficked on a farm in the Midwest, where our intervention sparked a current investigation. These cases are emerging nationwide. Last week, ICE and CBP arrested about 361 illegal aliens at 2 cannabis farms in California, finding 10 unaccompanied children. So where do we go from here? This is not about politics, it's about protecting children and confronting modern-day slavery. Good intentions and humanitarian missions must never excuse harm when policies enable exploitation. Accountability and decisive action must ensure it never happens again.
Thank you, Ms. Hopper. I now recognize